Welcome to the second season of the Love, Truth, and Power podcast, where men are talking. And today we're going to talk about current events and the segment called Let's Rap. Let's get into it. So we're going to transition to the Let's Rap segment and talk about some current events that's going on. I'm going to mention something. Don't know if we have a dog in the fight. Roe versus Wade. We have a dog in the fight? Men?
No.
No.
Ain't got nothing to
No?
do.
We ain't got nothing.
I don't think men should be involved in that, man.
So, because they're trying to overturn it,
And so if they overturn it, that means that they ban it again.
Yeah. You're letting the woman choose the right to do what she's supposed to do with her body.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
But you want to take that away now.
You want to take that away now.
Yeah, nah. Who has the right to say what a woman can do to her body? That's something that she has to deal with. I get the whole. I understand the timeline thing. Once you get to a certain point, then
I get that.
I get that part. But
it's
to
dangerous
say
for both.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But to say just outright you can't do that, I don't think that's our place, man.
Yeah.
I think I don't think I know we live in a country that is not built on biblical standards anymore. So let's say that first and foremost. But what I will say this is that you overturning it don't mean that it's gonna stop. It just means it's gonna continue in an unhealthy manner.
Correct.
And
Correct.
It's not gonna stop.
You're making it worse for the
You're
woman
making it
even more.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right.
Now I'm gonna go out there and take chances.
And now I gotta try to find some place to go to make this happen that's unsanitary, that's unhealthy, that's unsafe.
Yeah.
And to take this chance because I can't provide for the child that's coming.
Why would, as a woman, and I'll use rape for instance. Again, that's her choice if she wants to conceive or keep that child or not.
Because she was violated.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So but now you're telling her you don't have a choice.
Yeah, we're going backwards in this
Yeah,
country. There's too much politics involved in it, and
And that's what it is. You said the right word.
It's too much politics, man.
Correct.
It's
Correct.
too much Republican, Democrat thing going along with it.
And it's just your view on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But your view is your view.
Yeah.
You can't have an opinion and a decision on a person's, especially a woman's, choice.
Yeah.
That's just my take on it,
And it don't just affect the current people. It affects our children's children.
But it takes two to make a child, but you're only regulating one.
Yeah. I mean, my thing is this. If you don't regulate the men to get vasectomies, make that a law.
Try that one.
Try that one on
See
the
what
side.
happens.
You know what I'm saying? You always want to, you want to chastise the women and go against them, but, do that.
So, Miss Jackson, that's what I'm going to call her, Supreme Court Justice. What a great day in our country. Very well qualified.
Well spoken.
Well spoken. She has the credentials. Everything is in place for this woman, but yet, you take so many derogatory shots at her and trying to discredit and discourage her from being appointed.
I don't think it had nothing to do with her.
What do you think?
I think
Elaborate on that.
because 2 years ago, them same people that was taking shots at her voted her for the other bitch.
In D.C.
in D.C.
In D.C.
And now
Circuit Court.
Yeah, the circuit court. Now years later, she's going to a higher court. You don't want it's politics.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
but,
saying?
but you don't want her in that seat.
You don't want her up there.
No, you don't want her up there because you're making too many decisions.
You want to be able, remember, our past president, you wanted to be able to control that court.
That's right.
Correct.
You don't want it to be
Correct.
too liberal.
Correct.
Yeah.
And you don't want to, they want it to be more, you know what I'm saying?
You want it to be your narrative.
Yeah, your narrative. And
That's
so
what you
they're
want.
going to
Yeah.
stop it. Yeah.
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 Yeah,
I think that's what it was. But it's great for America, though, man.
It's great. I'm
Yeah.
super excited.
I
Super proud of her.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was.
And we've come a long way.
I mean, you just watch the confirmation hearing,
Yes.
and you could just see the people that were attacking her.
Yeah.
Correct.
So
The
that
heathens.
that right there
Yeah.
showed me
Yeah.
that okay, I can see what this is about.
Yeah.
Correct.
But the
Correct.
thing that made me feel good is a picture that I saw on social media when she was at the hearing, and the picture came from this side and her daughter was behind her. Just to see her daughter smile,
Absolutely.
the way she looked in awe and in envy of her mama,
Yeah.
while her mama
Absolutely.
was up there speaking. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
And I'm like, well,
And
I
it
know-
says that young girl,
Mhm.
this can be you.
This could
Yeah.
be you.
You
And-
can do this. I think the part that moved me was Cory Booker. When
Yes.
he came to her defense, man,
Yeah.
he moved me in her defense and how he raised her up,
Mhm.
how she was so distraught, at them just
Yeah,
taking all kind of shots
it
at
was just
her.
an attack on her, really.
Yeah, and her credentials spoke for themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially the people that Kavanaugh, we're not going to talk about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, the way he came back and lifted her up, that was
all
awesome.
all of them talked highly of her.
Yes.
Because they just appointed her to the lower bench. And I'm
Yeah.
like, bruh. But yeah, that's
But again, like
Yeah.
you said earlier, it's
It's
it's the world we're living in.
it's the
right
world we
now,
live in, man. If the shoe was on the other foot, Democrats would have done the same thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And what they did when your man appointed,
Kavanaugh.
well, when they appointed the other lady.
Oh yeah. I can't think of her name right now. That's what he wanted though.
Yeah, but the Democrats shot at
Yeah.
they did the same
Because they
thing.
knew
Yeah.
what was coming.
Yeah, they did the same thing.
It was Trump's
But
agenda.
you know what this means to me most, I mean, to cut you off, is this shows that we have to pay more attention to our local
And be
elections.
more involved.
Well,
Absolutely, I
well,
agree with you.
outside of just every 4 years, because when you put somebody in the Supreme Court, they there for decades
Forever.
Ever.
Until they die. And,
Yeah.
and
Or
again,
retire.
or retire.
Whichever
and,
one.
and again, you hit it on the head. We have to get involved in the local stuff.
We
Yeah.
got to.
So
man.
you put people in position to fight for you
That's it.
at the higher level.
That's it.
Yeah, but we always dodge the midterms. We
Absolutely.
Don't, we
No,
don't,
no.
Yeah.
You know,
Barack or
That's
high
it,
powered
man.
Democrat ain't running.
Yeah.
He ain't worried about y'all.
Yeah.
But then when
You know.
midterm come around, everybody go hide back in
And,
the cave.
and then when you see we back to paying taxes on houses when we disabled
Yeah, man.
taxes,
Yeah.
all the stuff
Yeah.
unnecessary.
Social
We change
Security
all
gone,
these laws.
you know?
You're attacking the people that are struggling paying rent, the homeless, the VA vets.
Yeah, man.
So yeah. Will Smith, Chris Rock. So man, you know what? And the more that time passes on, the more you think about it. My opinion of what happened has changed somewhat back and forth when I look at it. For me, that's something that you should not have done. Will, it should have been a private matter, taken behind the screen, talk to him offline. And then again, when I look back and see that for the second time you're attacking my wife on the same stage that you're being a presenter and supposedly, hopefully, that I'm in a category to be successful and win an Oscar. And here you are, that was ad-lib, right? So this wasn't scripted on the teleprompter of him making a joke at
The G.I. Jane joke.
The G.I. Jane joke.
Mhm.
Again, I sit back and I look at it from a different perspective every time. if that's Tom Hanks and his wife Rita Wilson, who are a famous couple, and she was sitting there with her head shaved, would you have said that, Chris Rock?
I'll flip the script on you. If that was Jimmy Kimmel, would Will Smith slap him? If that was The Rock Johnson, would Will Smith smack him? I'll flip it.
That's
And
again,
so-
I don't know.
Yeah, and so what I say is, Will didn't hit Chris. Will hit the world. Because he tired of, you know what I'm saying, the whole, to me that was a last shot, and I'm tired of y'all talking about my family.
No.
But you wouldn't have done it if it was a white dude up there, or, I mean, because it was,
but
they
again,
got history together.
But again, it's history.
'Cause
And
you-
from the last time when you took a shot at my wife
Because they
and
weren't
me
there. Yeah.
because she wanted to boycott because there wasn't enough black
Absolutely.
people being nominated, and
Absolutely.
I support that, me personally. Now and again,
And that's when he made the comment about her, you not even being
Correct.
invited.
Absolutely.
correct.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He took a couple of shots at
Yeah.
them and Will when he made what's the movie? I can't think of the movie that he made. He's like, you paid him $20 million for that. That's what you need to boycott. So you've been taking shots at this man, and again,
It's comedy, though.
and no, it's not comedy, and I disagree with that, Isaac,
Mhm.
because you're a presenter. You're not at a comedy show where you're the headliner doing comedy. Yes, you're a comic, but you're also a person who sat down and talked politics. You had your own show. Yes, you're a comic, but you're not in a comic setting.
But that's what they do.
I get that.
Yeah.
I get that. You crack jokes,
Only-
but you made it personal from what my
You
stance.
think so?
I think so. I think you made it personal because you ad-libbed it. It wasn't scripted. And I think that if you didn't know that she had a disease, she could have had cancer. So if you didn't know, why say anything? If you don't
I get
know.
that part. I mean, it's a. You go to comedy show. We've been to many comedy shows,
Correct.
and they.
We know not to sit in the front.
Yeah, you know that. That's what I'm saying.
I got it. This is not a comedy show, though.
But
This is the world stage.
yeah, but every
With my peers.
I got it. But every host that hosts the Oscars,
They give him a little.
they give them a little
ad-lib,
extra.
they give him a-
It's the norm.
It is the norm, but not when you have history and everybody knows that you have history because you said it at the last.
But
Oscar
my
3
thing,
years
but my
ago.
thing is for Will. Well, and I'll never meet him.
Again,
But, yeah, I know. Every time, if one day it changes, the next day it changes. But what
Correct.
I'm saying is, you have opened up your whole family to jokes. And I think for me, this is my opinion, I think he just got tired of it. And I think he had a breakdown, a mental breakdown. And I think he just snapped, and I think that's what happened.
so again, for me, I'm going to look at it at a different perspective because I read an awesome article where comics, especially a lot of black comics, they take shots at women of color. They talk derogatory in their speaking. There's a lot of them, to include Eddie Murphy,
Mhm.
Martin, a whole bunch of them. And it probably could have been Will back in the day. But when is enough? Why are we not talking about comedians, actors, activists, whoever, taking shots at women of color? Because you're not doing that to white women. It's not happening. I
get
don't
it.
see it.
Well, I mean, I
I
get
don't
that
see
part,
it.
and I get that, and
Even with the hip hop, the rappers, the bitches, all this stuff, excuse my French, and all these things, yeah, we're targeting them. It's been a topic of discussion for a long time, but no one is coming to defense of that particular topic.
I think.
I want you to be quiet because I want you to laugh.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because
Yeah, you're coming.
The Will Smith situation in my mind is I had his back because that's my wife.
Mm-hmm.
So at that point, I had his back. I kind of like, like, man, are you really going to let someone, go after or attack your spouse? I'm not going to do that.
Not only that, her health.
And is a health reason because of the way she is.
Correct.
So The only issue I had with it is,
He kept going.
and it was a delayed reaction.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let me come to his defense on that real quick. When he's looking at Chris Rock, he even smiled until he saw Jada on the screen and the disgust in her face. That's why he got up, because when he looked up there, if you listen to the audience when he said it, they were like, ooh, and Chris was like, what?
Because it wasn't a
What?
bad. The
It
G.I.
wasn't
Jane
bad,
joke wasn't a bad
But when
joke.
he saw his wife on that screen and everybody looking at her and disgust on her face, that's when he got up out of his seat.
Okay, my thing is, that should have been your first reaction.
Correct.
That's why I say, I was with him
Until then.
until when I took a second look and see that, oh, that was a delayed reaction. No, guy,
He only did it till he done like this.
Exactly, you pop off
When
at
he
mine.
saw her.
I thought he turned and
He
looked
turned
at
to her.
He saw her first, then he turned and looked at her, then he got up.
It's too late now.
Too late now, bro.
It's too late.
And I still say,
And I can understand that, but I can't see how I would react initially.
None of us will.
what.
No,
Can't
we
say
like
don't.
I say, mental breakdown has something
Yeah.
to do with it. But what
Correct.
I'm saying is, if Adam Sandler or Jerry Seinfeld, and no knock on none of the Caucasian, comedians, if any one of them would have cracked that joke, he wouldn't have done nothing.
But again, they probably wouldn't have cracked that joke when you see her sitting there with
It
a bald
wasn't-
head.
But it wasn't.
When you sitting there with a bald head.
It wasn't a joke that got Will Smith. It was the fact that Chris Rock did it. It had nothing to do with.
I think it was both.
I don't think so, because
I
the
think
G.I.
it was
Jane
both.
joke, I don't think it was a bad
but
joke.
again, that if I got a history already with these two individuals,
That's what I'm saying. It wasn't a joke. It was the fact that Chris Rock cracked the
are
joke.
you gonna tell me that Chris Rock didn't know that she had a disease?
I promise you he probably didn't. I promise you he probably didn't.
She's been talking about it for the last 2 years.
Yeah, but that don't mean nobody. I promise you he probably didn't. How many times?
Then why would you say it if she could have had cancer? Why would you go out of your way and ad-lib?
It wasn't a bad joke.
And ad-lib. I didn't say it was. That's not what I'm saying.
It's
But
only
if
because
that-
he said it.
No,
That's it.
but there would have been somebody else sitting in that seat. You would have never said that. You would have never said it.
But when you say you keep mentioning the ad lib,
Mhm.
The ad-lib.
but
That's
they
part of
do
it.
that.
They do that.
But listen to me. Do you think that everybody knows that she has that disease? If he would have said, "This is what I'm going to say,"
Not everybody knows.
Wait a
Not
minute,
everybody.
Wait a minute.
Mm-mm.
That somebody would have came back and said, "No, wait a minute, because she has alopecia, or whatever. That's not a good look. Don't do that." I get it. Comics are comics. Get it. But if you got a history with somebody, I thought it was bad taste in Chris Rock, and of course with Will Smith, you could have handled it so much.
Yeah, but you got to if you talk to 20 comedians, 19 of them gonna tell you there's nothing off limits in comedy.
Yeah.
We'll know that.
Yeah.
I mean, they know that. So there's nothing off limits.
So let's flip the script real quick. So Dave Chappelle, who's been bashing transgenders for the last, if you looked at his show, was attacked and tackled, and you know, we all know what happened. So now everybody's coming out and saying Will Smith is the cause. You made an open season on comedians.
I don't believe that.
No.
I don't believe
What's
that.
your take on that?
I believe we live in I believe my take is they are raising a sensitive society. That's just me. Everybody's offended about something. And 10 years ago, you could crack jokes like this. You don't get offended. I don't get offended. We laugh about it, whatever. But our society is too sensitive. You know what I'm saying? That's just me. That's just my opinion.
So in the same is when you go to comedy clubs,
Correct.
and the comedian is up there. He's making all these jokes about, you know, the N-word and everything else, and we sit there and we laugh.
Correct. For
So-
some people, for most people,
For-
that's
for-
what you went there for.
Exactly,
Yeah.
for most people.
Mhm.
So what I'm with back and saying, now society is at the point where you can't say anything without offending somebody. Well, it's more defense for transgenders and gays, I think, in my opinion, than it is for people of color. For me, that, you know, there's so many rights and things that you put into place that, you know, for transgenders and gays, getting married, all the other stuff, that we've been oppressed for so long, and for me, that we're still at the bottom of the totem pole.
Well, what?
And I talk about people of color and the continuous systemic
Well, the reality is,
procedures that are in place.
the reality is, if the Will Smith thing would have happened on BET, you wouldn't still be talking about it today. The fact that it happened on that network is we still talking about it. But and another thing I will say that based off of this is we're numb to stuff that happens between us. That's why I say Will wouldn't have never smacked a white comedian. He would have just waited till after the show was over with, and then he would have handled the guy. He wouldn't have walked on stage. I don't care what nobody says.
Yeah, but if they would have had history, I think they're different. But you're talking about someone that has history of coming at my wife.
Yeah, but it's the color of that person. I bet my pension that if a white comedian was on that stage, Will Smith wouldn't have got up there and smacked that guy, even though he cracked the G.I. Because the G.I. Jane joke wasn't a bad joke.
No, it's just who you said it to.
Who you said it about, yeah.
Correct.
Yeah,
Correct.
that's
who
it.
you had history
Yeah,
with,
yeah.
and you said some things about him in the past. Not just at the Grammys, but offline also, you mentioned that.
But I want you to elaborate on the transgender thing that you said about more oppressed than black folks.
Well, from what I see, when I look at all the rights and things and all the privileges that people are given to transgenders and gays, for me, this is just my opinion, you know, and we're still in a fight and a battle just to get minimum stuff. You know, they're trying to oppress us and stop us from voting, right? Just from voting.
For black people.
For people of color.
Yeah,
period.
Yeah.
That's what all these Republican states are trying to do. They're trying to make it so difficult to do that, right? But don't offend a transgender person or a gay person to where, for me, from what I see,
they'll shut you down tomorrow.
They'll shut you down tomorrow.
They did it to
you
that rapper.
mention something on TV or on screen about them, they will shut you down.
Now I'm understanding what you said now.
And that's what I'm trying to say. Don't get let's not get it twisted. I
know what you
have
mean.
nothing against transgender.
Yeah, none of us do.
Nothing against gays.
None of us do.
I got family members, love them.
Yep, me too.
Live your life.
That's it.
Live your life.
I understand what you're
But
saying.
don't forget about us.
But
we're still in the fight.
You know what that is stemming from? They have the people in the position that's making those calls to shut you down when you say something like that.
We don't.
Well, that's a whole other topic, ain't it?
But we don't
Correct.
have it, and when we do have it,
So when you say they have the people, what are you referring to?
In politics.
the politics, the power, they or in the CEO positions, and
Are you saying that the politicians that are some are gays and transgenders? What are
you
you
got
saying?
more liberal people that are more open to it. I'm saying that.
Not the Republicans, right?
They're conservatives. That's why I said liberals.
yeah.
And I'm gonna agree with what Paige said, and also like, you know, the way society is set up now, and you have to look. You always got to look at the way society is. When that rapper, the baby, made that said one word, and
Correct.
every organization
Kevin Hart.
can't get back into him too.
Yeah.
Every company. ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox, and Netflix, everybody, they all, Live Nation and Coachella, they shut that kid down, and he lost millions of dollars because he said one word.
Correct.
A white person can get on TV right now. My wife is white. I'm not racist, but they can get on TV right now and say the N word, and nothing happen to nobody.
Same thing. Interesting. Again, and we're still in the fight and in the struggle. We're trying to fight to keep our voting rights.
But you know what though? I blame us.
Yeah, that's why I was about to get at. We even though we have
I blame
some
us.
of us in those positions.
I blame us.
I give us. Some of us can't beat all of us.
No, I blame us locally. I ain't even talking about up there.
Correct.
because we don't even value each other enough. It's a whole nother topic.
But again, it's the like you guys said, it's the people you put in the seat.
That's it.
Yeah.
But we don't come out to vote until we vote for the president.
How does oh my God, what's her name? The Georgia governor ran for governor. Stacey Abrams.
Mm-hmm.
She rallied a state.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She rallied
And
a
flipped
state
it.
and flipped it.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So again, it's about who you elect, who's in the seat. Who do we put in the seat? But again, like you said, and I agree with you 100%, we don't even know who the freak we're voting for.
No.
As long as it says Democrat, we don't know what they stand for, what they're fighting for. Absolutely
Yeah.
nothing.
What we have to do is we have to figure out a way, when it comes down to the voting thing, we have to figure out a way where we can get not necessarily what the news is showing, but the real topics of what people are fighting
You gotta
for.
do your homework.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
we're
do
talking.
your
I'm
homework.
talking about people in the hood that don't have. I know we got phones and stuff of that nature, but I'm
We don't
saying
use it for that though.
they don't. Yeah, but first of all, I can go to Petersburg Hopewell and ask somebody to show me, where you go to find out about who you want to vote for. We probably don't know.
I agree with you.
For me, I'm looking at the TV.
But how many people are out coming to our neighborhoods?
That's my point. That's
I
why
agree with you.
Yeah, I know.
I agree with you.
I know.
How many people are coming out to our neighborhoods
That's why I say I blame us.
and sharing the truth and the facts with us about what's about to take place?
But we have to stand together, just as those other organizations and people are doing.
Correct.
When they are shutting people down because they said something that
Correct.
they didn't like. But we won't do that.
But again, in defense of that, we have stood up. But what good has it done us?
I don't
Oh,
think
it done good. If you just made talk of it with what
Stacey
Abrams did.
Correct.
She got election was stolen from her.
Correct.
But she
Correct.
didn't go hide.
She went
She
and rallied.
came back and she rallied and said, "Watch this."
She rallied.
And
I agree with that.
Yeah, and I believe that we as a people of color, our attention span, and it's not enough of us, trying to get out there. It's not enough of us. I mean, yeah, we're doing it, but it's not enough.
It's not enough, and systemically, it's hard.
Yeah.
They make it hard for us. It's like the voting thing. Now you can't get nobody no water in line. You can't be late. No mail-in votes. That's crazy. Why is nobody standing up for that? But again, so we're gonna change the topic real quick. We're gonna talk about Ukraine. Let me share my take on this real quick. And everybody's for the fight and in the fight, and I was one that was backing them 100%. The one thing that just stirred me a little crazy is that when they were evacuating the country, the way the people of color were treated, they showed the army putting guns to black people's heads, women and kids, making them get off the train so the white people can get on the train. That disturbed me a little bit to where, and again, I'm all in support for Ukraine, and I think Russia, of course, is a bully, but that made me think and made me scratch my head for a second. They didn't talk about it a lot, but they did discuss it. It was in the news about how the people of color were being treated when it was time for evacuation, how they were pulled off of trains and let the whites get on the train and get out first. Did it change your opinion about how you feel?
I mean, I didn't see that
Ukraine
part.
and the war?
Yeah,
That was in the news.
Yeah, I didn't pay it.
Very minimum though.
Yeah,
right?
I didn't catch that one, and that it don't surprise me. But what got me the most is the
Why doesn't it surprise you? I like that. Elaborate on that. Why doesn't it surprise you?
I mean, because that's the going rate of the world, man. I mean, I can every
racism ain't just
it ain't just it's there. I mean,
I understand that.
yeah,
I
but
understand that.
it don't surprise me that you're going to suppress people of color. And I know folks don't like to hear us talk about this kind of stuff because they say, well, here we go talking about that again. But it happened on the southern border when the Haitians was trying to get in.
That's
You
true.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know
True assessment.
you let the other brown people come in,
Correct.
but you didn't let the Haitians come in. You know what I'm saying? You turn them away. But that ain't what bothered me about Ukraine. Since we talking about Ukraine, you know what bothered me?
What about
The $800 million they sent over there.
Mm.
That's what bothered me.
Mm.
Because I know people in America that could use that money right
It's
here
more
and
than
now.
that. You know it's more than that.
Yeah, I know, but that's the one number that I saw the other day.
Yeah,
That's what bothered me.
That's the third round.
That's the third round
that they finna send
Yeah,
over now.
but that's what bothered me. The money that they sent
How
over there.
can we? How are you able to all of a sudden just muster? Well, I know it's not all actual money.
But it's
but
munitions too.
It's equipment,
supplies
it's
and
weapons.
things like
But
that.
still,
But
Correct.
still, there's money.
It's $1 to everything.
yeah, it's
you
a
know.
dollar and everything.
Yeah.
So
That's what got me.
Yeah,
That's what got me.
When we, we can't even just allow everybody to have health care.
Yeah,
Correct.
yeah.
And that's money that could have been used on that, correct?
Where I know people that's sleeping in the Appomattox River, downtown Petersburg right now in tents.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, you're right.
You know what I'm saying?
You're right.
We got homeless veterans,
But we can
Yeah.
fund the war.
but we can fund a
We fund the
war.
war. We gonna
That's
find
not
out.
health care for everybody.
That's not even part of NATO.
Yeah.
I mean,
So, I mean, I get that because they want to become a part of NATO. But once they do that, and I know why Russia's raising hell because now the U.S. got their footprint. Looking at you from Ukraine, right? Now I can come put me a base over there and set up and keep an eye on you.
Yeah.
Did it surprise you that the fight that Ukraine put up and the success that they are having against a so-called powerful Russian army?
Bro, that amazed me, man.
Yeah, but you got to think about it, man. You back someone in a corner. You bully. You telling me I'm coming to fire? I'm gonna come in here and take over your
Well,
house.
we're about to fight to the end.
And that's really what they did.
Correct. Correct.
So of course you're gonna have to kill me.
Yep, they love their country.
Yeah, I'm gonna fight till the end. And that's what Ukraine is saying.
You know what
And that's what I give to them. That's the support they get from me because they are standing up to that bully. They're not just, they didn't
And
just
it's
turn
all
them.
of them too.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
the
man.
mayor. It's
Everybody.
the boxing stars.
Yeah, they
Everybody's saying we're gonna stay here and fight
Yeah.
for our country.
You know what it showed me also? We are a spoiled nation, bro.
yeah.
A privilege.
Privileged. Because I asked myself, I said, I wonder if like the average American would fight like that.
No.
No.
We fight each other
No.
Like that.
like that, but
Hey, when's the next train leaving? All right, let's go, y'all. Let's get to the front.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we stay and fight,
mm,
and again, they didn't even have options to leave.
But they president, bro.
Yeah, I gotta give him
Yeah,
props.
He
I
gets
give him
all
respect.
my props.
Yeah, I gotta give him props.
'Cause he didn't leave, he
and
stayed
respect.
yeah,
You
He
know,
was like an actor, something like that.
he was a comedian and
Comedian?
actor. Yeah,
Ironic, right?
Correct.
yeah,
Correct.
go slam him.
yeah. But yeah, man, I just,
Not every country gonna get slapped over there.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's it. It's interesting, man. Again, when I see that, and I thought about it, but then you look at the devastation in the country.
Oh yeah.
The people that I mean, cities are just being torn apart, families, and to see civilians being executed. That's what I'm gonna call it. That's what I see on the side of the roads, and people are being bombed and hiding in subways and.
They're bringing them here.
Yeah. Well, they brought them here. They were here and over here. Well, that was for us here on Fort Lee. That was Afghanistan folks. And that's what I'm waiting on too. So eventually you're gonna start bringing the majority of them here.
Yeah, they come.
You know, because of the support,
Mhm.
and then here comes more funding, right?
Yeah.
More money, man.
Because you can't just put them, you can't just bring them and then don't take care of them.
Mm-hmm.
That is true.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
But it's, I don't know. To me, it's one thing it's almost as if the U.S. is shouldering this.
Themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, themselves.
You know, you don't really hear. I mean, you don't really hear. I'm sure that other countries are
we don't
doing some
see the
things,
ins and
but,
outs of the war, correct.
but
But are they doing as much as us?
I
Because a
just
lot of
look
those weapons and anti-tank missiles and stuff is coming from us.
Yeah.
Even javelins. And,
Yeah. We
he
blow
went
up
to
them
the
tanks.
president went to the plant.
The plant
Yeah,
sure
and,
did.
New Mexico, I think it was?
Sure did.
No, it was
Detroit, wasn't it?
no, it's Alabama.
Alabama.
Alabama?
Yeah, it's in
That was one of
Alabama.
them.
Where they
That's
make the
it's at.
javelins at.
Where they make them at, and he walked that plant
Sure
because
did.
they had put a number of javelins that they wanted in a certain amount of time, and they wanted to push that contract and that money through. Now that's the money part. That's how you putting that money against
Mhm.
how much, even though they say, well, we're sending all these over there. Okay, well, that's how you get to that 800 because you got that contract is gonna bill them and you're gonna pay them for it.
Yeah. And then on the flip side of that, Americans make money by making it. You know what I'm saying? So people are working.
Yeah.
I get that part.
Correct.
I get that part.
Job increase.
Yeah, jobs.
you know,
Jobs go up.
You gotta hire more people, contractors. I get all that.
Yeah.
But you can still do that if you
There you go.
did it for people here. If you built more houses or you did some, if you built just an area right now and say, okay, we're gonna take care of, we're gonna build an area for that'll house 1,000 homeless people. That would generate revenue
Mm-hmm.
because it's gonna create jobs for people to do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same, to me, it's the same thing. Why can't we put some of that same money invested into us like that?
Interesting. I got an interesting topic that I want to talk about, and I was listening to Viola Davis speak the other day in reference to, how she came to be where she's at right now. The women of color in the industry, to get roles, to get movies, especially at a later age. Do you think it's fair that actress, I'm going to say actress because they all call themselves actors, reach an age limit and then they're discriminated against for parts in movies, particularly the black woman? That's what I'm going to say. We hear about it, that I can't get this role, and she spoke on it about that she wasn't pretty enough.
Yeah, on the Breakfast Club.
Correct.
Yeah, I saw that.
That she wasn't pretty enough. Is that a fair assessment for everyone, or just the women of color?
I mean, when Hollywood is ran by old white men, you know what I'm saying? We need more.
Yeah, and come on, let's be honest with ourselves here.
Mm-hmm.
What sells?
Mm-hmm.
Come on now, when you if I got to put you out there on camera, and I need I need this to sell, I need to grasp your attention.
But and I love that you said that, because the other thing is that when I looked at the Oscars and I looked at a lot of the movies that were up for major awards,
They trash movies.
trash. I mean,
Yeah.
I couldn't understand. I watched a couple of them. Like, you gotta be kidding me.
Yeah, but the people who, it's all about who vote, man.
Yeah,
the
that's
people that's
what
in
that
the
is.
place. man.
It's
So you know what we
voting.
need? We need more Tyler Perry's. You know what I'm saying? We need more people of color
Correct.
that are
Correct.
on these boards, these actor screen guilds, and all of these places where they vote for these movies. Because some of these movies, man, I'm like,
I hadn't heard of it.
Haven't
Yeah.
heard of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're nominated for
4,
5 and 6 and 7
Yeah.
awards. I'm like,
Yeah.
Why?
It's who's sitting on the board.
And we have to change that. Like we have to get people. But see, this is
good
what.
movies used to be good movies back in the day.
But this is what I
Yeah.
have a heartburn with our people, right? We'll say that we need people to be sitting at the table, right? But then when they get to the table, then we call them sellouts and we call them this. But to make a change, they gotta be sitting at the
You
table.
gotta get to the table.
You know what I'm saying? They gotta
You
get
gotta
there.
get to the table.
But then we have to support them when they get there.
Yeah.
correct.
We need Oprah and Tyler Perry
Correct.
and all of these guys that's got all this money and in these different places to sit. They need to be at the table. That's why I commend
To
Tyler
have the discussion.
to have the discussion. Tyler said, "You know what?
I'm gonna do my own thing.
Yeah.
I make all my movies down
Right
here.
there,
Y'all can
George.
come see me."
Yeah, absolutely.
So everybody should be going to make a movie down there, Tyler. But see, we won't do that because we think he make too much money.
Yeah.
That's my thing. Everybody should be. If you black and you make movies and you're a director, all your movies should be made at Tyler Perry Studios.
Yeah, because people want to see good movies.
Yep.
And these black producers and directors make good movies.
Mm-hmm. They do.
But they don't get out there like that.
It's because of who sit on them boards that make those decisions for the Oscars,
Correct.
man.
Correct.
That's what I believe.
And let's again keeping it honest. Who's the Oscars for?
Mm.
Yeah.
Just ask yourself that question. I mean, come on.
Mm.
Should they have banned Will for 10 years?
Absolutely not. I disagree with that. I disagree.
Yeah.
Because
I don't think she got banned
I'm
at
not
all.
going to go into details, but there's other men and people that have done worse.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And they never got banned.
Never got banned.
Yep.
Never got banned.
If anything, it made the ratings go up.
Absolutely. You know?
Because I've never watched
And again,
I've never
the
watched
first
an
thing I said was that they're going to make money.
That's why I said, who is it for?
Yeah.
I'm watching all
I
Oscars.
ain't never watched
When
no
he
Oscars.
slapped Chris, yeah, they're going to make money off that. That's the first
Yeah.
thing I said.
Mhm.
They're both going to make money off of that.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
You know.
I ain't never watched no Oscars, man. But yeah, so back to your question though, I don't think it's fair that, you know,
Is there a double standard for women of color?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And it's not the double standard doesn't start when they get too old.
Yeah.
It started before they even came through the door.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's been going on since the beginning of time. You want to make them maids and this and you know you stereotype them and put them in these roles and then they get typecasted and all you want them to do. My thing is
negative stuff.
Yeah, Halle Berry had to play almost a prostitute just to win the Oscar.
That's true too.
In Monsters Ball.
And Giselle was a thug in Training Day.
But he didn't get one for Malcolm.
Yeah.
Mm.
Who does that?
Yeah.
But you give him one for being a road cop?
Yeah.
Who do that? That's what I'm saying.
You know who do it.
Of course, that's what I'm
Okay.
saying. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
You're
man.
right.
So I mean, the standard has been there, and it is more towards our sisters and people and women of color.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But
So my last and final question. The vice president.
Judge Joe
There's-
Brown don't like her. Oh, I'm
there-
sorry.
There's speculation that she's not doing enough. Is that a fair assessment?
No,
I would have to say no.
it's not her position.
Because okay, let's just go back to
Every other vice president.
every other vice president. Just look, what do they find them a project,
And that's what they do.
and that's what they do. Now, but every now and then you'll find one that they go send them on a mission or go talk in some other country, go do. You'll find, because they did send her.
To Ukraine,
She
right?
went to
To
Ukraine.
Ukraine.
She did go over there. She did that. But it's not. I mean, you can go back to when Biden was vice
That's
president.
true too.
Yeah.
He what did he do as the vice president?
Yeah.
That's not your job.
It's not her job to be out front like that.
Yeah, that's not your job. Your job is to just you support not the ethics, but you support whatever it is that
The
president's
agenda.
agenda.
Correct.
That's what you do.
Correct.
Yeah. You don't go in there making your own
Your
agenda.
own- yeah,
You're not the president.
What are they looking for her to do?
Yeah. She can't go in there and make him do nothing. You know, so it's not her job. Like, I don't know what we wanted her to do once she got in office. Like, she was gonna be able to make all of these changes for people of color and for women and women of color and men of color. But that's not her role.
I tell you what and she's probably doing this, is take the time to learn and network and make, you can make a name for yourself.
You're building your resume.
Yes,
You're
you
building
do
your
that.
resume.
Do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And when your time come, now you have your clientele.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's go do this.
Yeah, and I agree 100% because when you look back on past vice presidents,
You ain't never hear none of them.
you never hear none of them. What have they done? Why are you questioning her?
Yeah.
Because she's a woman of color
Yeah.
and a woman.
And a woman.
And
Yeah,
a woman.
that's all it is.
And once again, I said we our own worst enemies.
Yep.
I sat here and watched the interview on YouTube the other day, Judge Joe Brown. That ain't his name, Judge Joe Brown?
The one that
Used
got
to
the
be good.
DWI. That
Yeah,
was
he
on
bald
TV.
head now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that Joker, bro. He bashing her, man. Oh yeah, I mean just
I
in a
heard
bad
some
way.
comments and why.
In a
Because
bad way.
Just like with Barack,
Mhm.
he's not gonna come in and fix the black culture
Nope.
Yeah.
in 8 years. No, that's not what it's about.
And we didn't support him his second term. That's
Mm.
why he had to go out and get the transgender and lesbian
Yeah.
vote. Because black folks in that second term, we didn't come
Well,
out
people
for
don't
it.
realize how much that he did and how much that Trump overturned.
Yeah,
But-
but see, we thought he was gonna come
They
in.
find it. They finding out now.
Yeah,
Once they find out
Correct.
now.
Correct.
Once Trump got in there, they found
Absolutely.
out.
And Joe Biden, to his credit, he has to overturn a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is what I ran on, but I had to get this fixed first
I
before
got
I
it,
can
yeah.
go here and address some of the things on my agenda that I ran.
We look for it's like, okay, I done voted you in.
The instant gratification.
What are you
right?
doing for me right
Correct.
now?
Correct.
That's not how it works.
That's not how
You need
it works.
It took all these years to get you in the spot you in,
Yeah.
and now you think I can just do it overnight to get you out of it? That ain't how it works.
It's not
And oh,
realistic.
by the way, what are you doing?
because I don't believe.
What's your work?
I don't believe that President Biden is going to have the opportunity to make another term to fix more things or do whatever it is his agenda wants to do.
You got to look at what he's doing. People don't pay attention to the things that he has to overturn first
Mm-hmm.
to revert back. That Trump blew up a lot, man.
We got set back 50 years.
Yeah, with Trump, and then here he comes again.
What do you think about? I know we just wrapping.
No,
just
What do you think about this whole black Republican, black Democrat thing? I've always been kind of like, trying to learn why one do this way and why one go that way. Cause Trump got a lot of black supporters. People don't believe it,
Yeah, he do.
and he still do.
He do. A lot of, which is another doubt, but a lot of pastors
Mm-hmm.
supported. A lot of evangelists supported
Yeah, most of
Trump.
those was white. Yeah, they was white though.
Black too. They wasn't all white.
Well, here's
It
my
wasn't
take.
all white.
Were the ones that I know, but that was if you talking about the incident where they was all sitting around the table.
No, I'm talking about in general. When you
Yeah.
go back and look,
Mhm.
a lot of them supported Trump.
Well, they support the I believe the conservative, that whole thing.
Abortion is one of them.
That
We
too.
ain't talking about that.
Yeah, that too.
But when you talk about, I think where we got lost at when it comes to politics, when it comes to Republican versus, whether I'm a Republican or whether I'm a Democrat.
Mhm.
Well, I have no problem going on record saying that I'm a Democrat.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
But by the same token, I have no problem saying that if a Republican
It's
has the right values and has the right,
Correct.
I don't have a
Correct.
problem with telling you
Correct.
I will vote for a Republican.
I will support that.
I will support
I will
that.
support that.
And that's why I asked that question, because I believe that the line has gotten so
It's
blurred.
blurred. Yes.
It is blurred, and again, and you see some Republicans and
Well, you got liberal Republicans, and you also got conservative Democrats.
correct.
Yeah.
So when I see you and I see what your agenda is for you and how you want to address us, I have to go back and look and see what are you going to support with a person like a Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Are you going to support what his agenda is, or are you going to stick to what your agenda is and fight against that?
Mhm.
And that's what I have to look at when it looks at
Yeah.
Republicans.
It's even under the Trump administration, some things
Everything he did wasn't wrong.
that he did, I was for.
Me too.
But the one thing that makes it hard for me, or almost impossible for me to back him, is the way that he brought out, and I'm gonna say it, brought back racism.
Correct.
Yeah.
That
Correct.
I couldn't get.
In full
Correct.
effect.
Yeah,
I tell
And
people.
that's what he ran on, make America great again. What do you think you're talking about?
I tell people when I talk, we have conversations. I say, I don't have a problem with you with them with Trump supporters sticking their chests out, because when
I had mine out.
when our favorite president came in office, every black person in America had their chest spoke out.
Yeah.
But what he did, he played on that,
That's exactly what he did.
and
But it exposed America, right? We
To-
already knew it,
we
but it
knew
brought
it.
us to the forefront.
it brought it in the forefront.
Right.
But it made it dangerous though.
Yeah.
So dangerous, bro.
It made it dangerous, man.
So
I watched
dangerous.
it made it dangerous because you got militias out there in Tennessee and Kentucky, and they training for
North Carolina,
North Carolina,
Virginia,
and then we seen what happened in
and the
DC.
resurrection.
Yeah.
Correct. Wow. Y'all know we can go on and talk about this
Bruh.
forever.
Yeah.
But again, appreciate the love and support. We might get some feedback or some phone calls for the conversation. But again, the title of the segment is Let's Rap. Let's talk.
Yeah.
So again, Isaac, Daryl, Paige, my buddies, appreciate you. Much love. See you guys in the next segment.